And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gem of the Crypto, episode 887. Today is Monday, February 7th, 2022, and I'm King.
I'm Bitcoin Zay, and we're here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community Monday through Friday at 10-ish.
10-ish, and today's top stories. What do we got going on today? BuzzFeed backlash after doxing aboard a yacht club founders. Protesters migrate the crypto fundraising platform following GoFundMe ban. U.S. Treasury targets NFTs for potential high-value art money laundering. So you called that out a long time ago. Venezuelans reportedly hit by new Bitcoin tax of up to 20%. And last but not least, Bitcoin has become a lifeline for sex workers like this former nurse who made $1.3 million last year. But first and foremost, Bitcoin's what's going on with those prices?
Oh, yeah. So taking a look at our prices for today, Bitcoin is at $43,360, up 5% today. Ethereum sitting at $3,118, up 5% as well. Binance Coin at $436 is up almost 7% today. Cardano at $1.20 is up 8.7%. Solana sitting at $120 is up 7.4%. XRP pushes strong at 77 cents, up 16.5%. Terra Luna at 58.20, up 9%. And last but not least, rounding out our top 10 is Polkadot at 22.49, up 7.4%. And our biggest gainers for the day, MetaPay, Doge Colony, and First 11. A bunch of unknowns again, up at least 400% today.
There it is. Still some coins to go after. I saw a story that said how Shiba's up like, I don't know if it said 75% or some crazy number. So when I looked at the price, it's literally up like a pinch higher than what the floor was not so long ago. I'm just like, woof. That thing must have dropped because they over here talking about like it's an accomplishment right now. It's crazy.
Right. They don't publish stories about the losses. They only tell you the gains.
Right, yeah. We're not coming back down from a low number. It's always been like this. Everything's fine here. It's like, okay, if you say so. But yeah, other than that, let's go ahead. I'm trying to open this up, actually give some quick shout outs to everyone here in the chat. Another chat is probably lit already early in the morning, but let me go ahead and take a peek at that. Do you see anybody in your chat right now? I can't bring in my box. Bitcoin Zay, what's going on? You muted.
Yeah, I just had to unmute to get on. But yeah. Shout out to Shannon Allen, what's up? Saber Saves, Eric Horton, Crypto Vixen, Fearless Jones, Credit K, we live, Too Much For You, Christopher Land, Larry and Crypto Boy, Wendy Nichols is going on, John Bullware, Satoshi Slim, Bashir, Muhammad, Reno Gamble, Saints Pfeiffer, Chuck, and everybody else, Alpha Predator, Chappie, everybody rolling in right now. Appreciate you guys.
There we go. And it looks like I played this so cold indeed 2 or 3 seconds too long, man. They gave us a copyright warning again. I gotta shorten up the sound bite of it. All right, other than that, let's go ahead and get the show, folks. You know what time it is.
What's up,
Yeah, that's right. One of the most highest grossing assets ever in the crypto space. Right now, I'm skipping. BuzzFeed backlash after doxing aboard a yacht club founders. I mean, leave it to BuzzFeed to do some old janky shit like this, but should Web3 billionaires be able to avoid public scrutiny under the guise of a pseudonym? With no clear answer, the community has lashed out at BuzzFeed for publishing the true identity of the pair behind the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT collection. Bitcoin Zay, what exactly happened here with BuzzFeed and this doxing of the Bored Ape Yacht Club founders? I mean, other than more pocket watching, why were they dox these people? What's going on here?
Oh, no. So it seems as though the American Internet and Media Entertainment Company, BuzzFeed, has revealed the identities of 2 of the 4 original collection founders. Again, doxing is just basically revealing who these people are. And these founders are Gordon Garner and Gargamel, who are known as Greg Solano and Wiley Areno in real life. Journalist Kate Natopoulos authored the Friday article, which is entitled, "We Found the Real Names of Bored Ape Yacht Club's Pseudonymous Founders." Congrats, BuzzFeed, just doxing people for no reason. Gordon even stated, "Got doxed against my will, oh well." Web 2 me versus Web 3 me. And again, this is something that in our industry, doxing somebody is seen as basically an art of war. Like you're trying
across
to do
the internet too, really.
Across the internet.
I mean, especially for YouTubers and everything, but yeah.
Yeah, like this is something where I think BuzzFeed, if you kind of know who funds BuzzFeed, they're kind of on the side who doesn't really like this space that much. So them doxing them, I don't know if they thought this was cute or if it was fun. Yeah, that's not. And the tech reporter argued there are reasons why in the traditional business world, the CEO or founder of a company uses their real name and not a pseudonym. The people behind Bored Ape Yacht Club are courting investors and running a business that is potentially worth billions. How do you hold them accountable if you don't know who they are? That's what open source technology means, people. And the fact that you don't need the creators' name and information in order for you to hold them accountable is something that traditional markets are not used to. They hear about rug pulls, they hear about scams, but they don't hear about the thousands of projects with pseudonymous developers or founders that work just fine. And the way that you control it is with government type controls and protocols. You can have open source. I believe they do have an open source project. And when you get doxed, a lot of times it takes away some of the luster of the project. If you don't know who kind of created it, that certainly helps the project, just like it's helped Bitcoin for all these years. But now that they've been doxed, it's over now.
And yeah, to kind of piggyback on it, first of all, shout out to Cedric Lemoyne for the tip. Thank you for that. Says in a tweet Saturday, Crypto Kobe called the article typical BuzzFeed trash. I didn't even read the article, but just hearing what they did, I agree with it because they all are about clicks and views, which is why BuzzFeed is always like, you know, the 20 worst things he's ever done to you. And, oh my God, let me tell you about these experiences. The 20 worst things she's ever done to you. Oh, let me tell you what she's done to me.
Let's
like they do all that clickbait type shit. Like nothing in those articles have something tangible for you to take and move forward with. It's more just to get you emotionally invested. That way they get those clicks and that watch time or read time. But it says here, venture capitalist Mike Solana wrote that there was absolutely no reason to dox these guys, adding they're literally cartoon apes. To go back up to what they said about, you know, this is for prevent terrorism, criminals, and sanction nations, and all this other stuff. And then they go back to how do you hold them accountable? This is what I have to ask that reporter, as I've asked many other regulators out there. Who is asking you to hold them accountable? It's that simple. It's like the reporter. Do you own a Bored Ape? Which you probably do not. So why are you in other folks' business? Once again, like this is something, it's so cultural. It is so cultural, so ingrained in us where we have to pocket watch. That is why I'm happy for Bitcoin and Monero and these type of things, because now you literally can't pocket watch. It doesn't matter what Google or Forbes say you're worth. It doesn't matter. Now they're not factoring in that that Monero, that Bitcoin has been on the hard drive for 4 years. So I'm glad to see this is happening as far as the community coming together and pushing back, saying this is not okay. Again, there was nobody from that community. There was not a public outcry or consensus from that community that, hey, we need to dox these guys to figure out what's what. It seemed to be the sentiment of that community was, hey, we tried a new NFT collection, it worked, and we're making a shit ton of money. There was nothing in any of that where anyone was like, we need to know who these founders are. We need to know who this is. So I think when it comes to the whole, we talk about Web 3.0 and some of the fundamentals of Bitcoin, some of that decentralization is privacy. Like as a private citizen, you have the right to be private. Everyone does have the right to know how much money you made, where you make it, how you make. That's insane to me that so many people want to know it. To me, that just shows that they don't have enough going on. You think Bill Gates wake up saying, how much money does this guy have? Does Trump wake up? Does Elon wake up? How much money does so-and-so have? Like, come on, people, focus on your own bank accounts. Let's see. Mr. G, the recycling guy, said ENS is breaking down as we speak. No diversity in leadership, LOL. They said ENS is chop suey. It's definitely early. I'll tell you that. I already knew.
What happened with ENS?
I don't know what's happened with it. That's why I'm trying to scroll up and figure out what's the problem. And bowling, what's going on? Catching the live for the first time in a minute. Good evening from oddly chilly Abu Dhabi. Hey, shout out to Abu Dhabi and Ferrari World there. You can't get any work done because those motors and engines are humming around that track. But Abu Dhabi is a beautiful place. So
I think I found it. I found the ENS tweet.
What happened to ENS?
So it looks as though somebody, Brantley.eth, it looks as though he tweeted this out. They found this: homosexual acts are evil, transgenderism doesn't exist, abortion is murder, contraception is a perversion, so is masturbation and porn. So it looks like people took took offense to that statement. And again, that came from 2016. So again, I've been saying all along, it's just like when we get big enough, I'm sure somebody's gonna find a tweet from 2011 to try and cancel you. But of course, once it happens, it kind of sucks for some people, but that's only if you have a company where you are putting or portraying that you're the good guys. But we'll see what happens with ENS. They'll probably get through it. I mean, FTX had Blockfolio niggas on there, and they came out just fine. They'll be all right. It ain't no.
Well, I think, and who is this from? This is ENS.
Yeah.
I
ENS.
mean, I
Might
knowing
be more
ENS
to it.
and that team, they probably just was wondering. They were just like,
Good morning. Morning to you. Why are you gay?
Straight
they
to
just
the
wanted to
point.
know. ENS just wanted to know, hey guys, before you use our Web3 portals, our naming service, why are you gay? Kiani said ENS is trash. Like I said, I knew ENS was super early. I took the airdrop and kept it pushing. But yeah, this won't be, I don't think this will be the last time in this space we see something like this, where it's just like, oh, you know, these people really don't like these other people. What I will say is a good thing about a lot of this technology is it isn't based on our feelings. It isn't based on who likes who. It's based on does the technology work. So whether it's ENS and stoppable domains or whatever else, when it comes to Web 3.0 and where the new platforms for hosting websites will be at and what addresses people will use, that doesn't have to do anything with people's feelings. So we will see how it turns out. But they got more technical issues than they do political and social ones anyway. So they need to kind of figure that out more than
they got a lot to worry about.
Was that?
Yeah, I was gonna say they got a lot of other things to worry about.
Right. Let's see. Everybody said, bro, that was so random. I saw the other day. I don't know how I came across my YouTube.
I saw it a while back. Sound like my old African homies Fox. Straight to the point. He ain't wasting no time. He ain't got time to waste.
And that's what everybody in the comments was like. The funniest part about the interview was like, Buddy was serious the whole time. He wasn't trying to be mean. He just literally was like, "What's going on? Like, what?"
Yeah, I didn't know this is possible.
All right, basically, he didn't know it's possible. All right. Protesters migrate the crypto fundraising platform following a GoFundMe ban. Another ban. We've seen bans in the space. They don't stop anything. GoFundMe looks like they axed that the Freedom Convoy campaign after some protesters became violent. So organizers turned to Bitcoin fundraising platform Tallycoin instead. I mean, I'm happy to see Bitcoin save so many organizations and people essentially. But I mean, it just goes back to if you are already using it. If you're already using it, it wouldn't be an issue. But I'm glad to see that every time people find issues, they find a solution in Bitcoin. So what's going on here with this story and these protesters?
Oh yeah, so I think this is the best story of the year.
I actually did see this weekend. I know this is the Canadian one.
Yep, I think this is the best story of the year so far because everybody likes to talk about price, where the project is going, and all of the tech and all the stuff. But these are real world use cases, people. And if you saw the debate Friday, this was part of the point I was making with political protesters, is that even if you have a bunch of people, they got 50,000 truckers plus hundreds of thousands of more people helping them. They raised $10 million on GoFundMe. And you know what GoFundMe said? Nothing for you. And they cut off the $10 million. Not only did they cut off the donations, when you make a donation, it's instant, right? But for them to return it, it's going to take 7 to 10 business days. So that's all of these are fiat problems. You know what happened with Bitcoin, though? They can raise their money on Tallycoin and it goes straight to their own wallet, which nobody can control, nobody can stop. And they've raised over, I believe, 360,000. Well, 321 at the time of writing, but as of this morning, 370,000, which is only a fraction, but that's only because a fraction of the population uses Bitcoin. Now, if everybody was giving them sats and everybody was sending them money, again, I don't know what people are going to do in this new era where you're starting to get flagrant government controls. You're starting to have high inflation rates, got supply chain shortages, you got vaccine mandates, you got a bunch of stuff that people will probably be protesting over the next 5 years. And how are you going to fund it? You going to do it through GoFundMe? You going to do it through your bank accounts? No, they're going to get every time. So Bitcoin seems to be a better choice. And if you want to donate, I donated this weekend on Tallycoin. You can give $1 worth of Bitcoin. They got Lightning and they have on-chain transactions. So shout out to them. The official project on Tallycoin is called Honk Honk Hold. So the Canadian truckers, they can get money and then they can actually use it for the things that they need without any interference, which is the point of Bitcoin. Nobody can stop it. So when you talk about fundraising, I mean, hey, we were talking about Gaddafi. You tried to send $1 million to your boy, Farrakhan, $1 billion back in the 90s. What did the banks do? They stopped it. If you try to send $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, they may have never found out he got it. That's the difference. That's what I'm saying. There's nothing that can happen in the future without the separation of money and state. Because as long as they're connected, no matter what you want to do, they're going to take their cut or they're going to take all of it. So this is great to see because it shows Bitcoin's use case.
Yeah, and they even mentioned they'll see if Tallycoin has the same sense of resistance as GoFundMe. But again, at this point, it's about the organization. Will they open the books to the government essentially? Because this is the people, this is private technology or pseudonymous technology, no matter how you look at it, it's unconfiscatable. So yeah, if they were to get like, say 9 or 10 million, and this is what people aren't saying, like this is a perfect use case. A first world country, government regulators saying one thing, hey, take vaccine mandate, even though they said it'll be voluntarily, but now it's being mandated. Canadian truckers saying, no, we don't want to. Essentially looks like private and government funding is being cut off toward these truckers. And they're saying, cool. Well, and this is the crazy part, people. This is the psychotic part about our culture, regulators in America, and the gang part of it. Instead, as they say, we don't want your money, fine. We don't want the vaccine mandate. We don't want to follow your rules, fine. We'll find resources from other sources. They found those resources. They found $9 million worth of those resources, but the government and a private company are stepping in saying, nope, nope. Not only can you adults not receive this money, you adults can't even send them this money. Why? Because they're not doing what we told them to do as far as taking a fucking shot. Yeah. Like people,
wake the fuck up. What is wrong?
Yeah, this is base layer what Bitcoin's for. Can we imagine this thing was a little bit more aggressive, back to curfews in LA? Oh, you out past 1 p.m.? Like people, that was real in LA. This really actually just happened in 2020. Like this isn't maybe they won't. No. They was there. You was getting put in the back of that paddy wagon with LAPD's finance was out past 1:32 p.m. in some parts of Beverly Hills back in 2020 when the riots were happening and the vax and all that stuff was going on. So I say all that to say, like you said, this is a perfect use case with the truckers. But now a part of this use case when it comes to Bitcoin is to see people become resistant, because we already saw with the whole Silk Road, he essentially he told them the private keys. Like, so they had to get him somehow, right? Like he gave up his private keys, and so many others have also done it in the past, where I get why it's government, whatever, you get impressed, you're probably in a room 30, 40 hours, you gave up the private keys. But at the end of the day, if you don't give it up, no one gets that value. But bottom line is that it's kind of crazy to me to see so many people get excited over other people valuing what they do. You can't send it here. You can't receive it there. You got to play by our rules, and you can never get too high, right? Because by playing by their rules, you'll never overcome that big hump. You'll just stay right up under it just long enough. But let's see what you all had to say really quick. See, Kiani was talking about the dev for ENS. He said that was the main dev. They got fired for an 8-year-old tweet. Woo, crazy. Let's see, what else do we have going on? Reno Gamble says, some of us who were on the net in the beginning learned a lesson about the digital footprint, staying with you and operated in kind, realizing this. Hey, I'm with Reno, Zay. Outside, I mean, I might got a couple things, but I cleaned it up early. I already cleaned it up early. Right. It's gonna be hard to find like a crazy tweet or picture or something, like, unless somebody really trying to personalize it. Then, hey,
I know I got some wild stuff from back in the day.
I already know you do.
When I started my Twitter, I was doing stand-up in college, and my name on Twitter was Wedlock Baby. So I already know they're gonna find some stuff from back in the day. I gotta get it scrubbed at some point, but who cares?
Fuck it, man.
I'm a free man. That's what I'm saying. They don't know what free man talk like. So
we got a solid tech product. You ain't got to scrub nothing. It's just, hey, it is what it is. You don't gotta like me, but 2 + 2 = 4. Yeah, you do that. Exactly. What else do we have? Reno Gamble said publications were reporting falsely that GoFundMe took that money and gave it to BLM, Greenpeace, and made it out to a left-wing issue. That's pretty funny. Let's see.
Hey, but they did take government funds though. That one dude got caught sending $300,000 to BLM. I think it was Michigan. I'm not sure. I think it was Michigan BLM got, but yeah, either way.
Yes, so 2 more, I did see these as well. So Chappie said now they have the police stopping people from assisting the truckers by bringing them supplies. I mean, people, again, if you think this is like, this is the stuff where the government, I actually give it and this is what I'm saying. You all trying to count these billionaires and multimillionaires' money and figure out who rich and This is why the government is allowed to do what they want to do, because you're trying to figure out what other people are doing instead of bigging up yourself. And the government is easily just like, oh, we just stop people from bringing supplies. They won't fight back. Watch. That's why I love the government. People, listen. Hey, as much as I talk crap, I'm critical because it's still the A side. And to me, at least they let their nuts drop. The government has no issue throwing up a gang sign and be like, we're coming for this money and we calling it taxes and we put it in paperwork. The government has no hesitation to say, not only can you not get money from a GoFundMe, y'all can't even bring them waters and supplies. Like, what? That's the A side.
And they also said they were stealing from homeless people. And then when they showed the video of the other side, they were saying, "Oh, actually, they're feeding homeless people."
Hilarious.
Like they just flipped the whole story. Like it's hilarious to see in real time.
Gang on gang. Dallas Prince said the banks. I just saw this as well. I was gonna say the banks just froze Wendy Williams' bank account. I wasn't sure how real that was, but it looks like the banks froze Wendy Williams' bank account because she has early onsets of dementia, whatever. And this kind of also goes along the same lines of Britney Spears, how she wasn't her own conservatory. Like she didn't have access to her own money. Her father did, or whatever. People, Bitcoin solves all of these problems. We are looking at, again, a private entity, a bank with private individuals closing the value source of another private individual who trusted them to put their money there. This is why you don't need humans as the third party of trust. You need code, and we get that with Bitcoin. This is turning to a Bitcoin maximalist shirt. This is crazy.
I mean, how many use cases? Hey man, how many use cases we got to show until people get it? It's gonna take a while, but people will get it sooner or later. Hopefully, when they don't have a choice.
Speaking of use cases, I give this to you. I think you're the first person I heard call this out when you were like, NFTs probably money laundering. I think you said like early last year or sometime, but it looks like the Treasury agrees with you, Bitcoins. The U.S. Treasury targets NFTs for potential high value art money laundering. Now, two things I want to point out. I want you to take this story because you did point this out early. I remember when you pointed out early, it was like a light bulb went on my head. I was like, oh, I wasn't even thinking about that. Not only is the money laundering aspect, but the second one, and probably the more important one, is the timing of this article. Literally, we're about 2 or 3 weeks out from Martin Luther King Day. And what did we say? Bro, what did we say was coming next? I said NFTs might steal the spotlight from DeFi and that being regulated because they actually have people behind it. And look like we need some protection and freedom around here. Y'all over here laundering money.
Look like we need security over here.
What's going on in this article here? You called it too. Shout out to Big Guns ever calling this, man.
Hey man, like I said before, it was very odd to me that there were pictures of ducks and apes and whatever else was coming out, and people were spending quarters of millions of dollars. And I knew early on, before the celebrities got on it, the only reason that money would be used into that asset had to be some sort of money laundering, so you could park it the same way that people do with real art before NFTs were even created. So the Department of Treasury suggested that the increasing use of art as an investment or financial asset could make the high value trades vulnerable to money laundering. And they released a study on this market. They actually quoted here, the emerging online art market may present new risks depending on the structure and incentives of certain activity in this sector of the market, i.e. the purchase of NFTs, digital units on an underlying blockchain that can represent ownership of digital works of art. The study also said, according to US authorities, in the first 3 months of 2021, the market for NFTs generated a record $1.5 billion in trading and grew 2,627% over the previous quarter. The NFT market in 2020 alone was 20 billion. That's when I started my theory that this was definitely money laundering. But I mean, you can see it on the blockchain. You can see wash trading on the blockchain. You can see some of the funds being used from wallets that were dead before, and now they're buying NFTs. Like that was a dead giveaway to me, was people were basically taking Bitcoin and Ethereum wallets that hadn't moved for years, and they were buying NFTs with it. Because now, instead of it being an Ethereum where you can't control it, I bought an NFT with the token attached to it. That's $250,000 or $500,000 is an NFT, right? And then you can just keep the floor at the same level. If you have collusion between you and the people who created the project, which most of them are, you could buy it at 100,000 and then set the floor at 500 once it goes to secondary market. Easy profit. And I mean, some people are on an NFT loop right now.
Or it doesn't sell and it retains its value.
It retains its value, exactly. So that's the biggest thing to me, is that it's pretty clear that there's some of it going on, but I don't want to scrutinize the NFT market as if it should be taken down and the whole Department of Treasury should basically arrest everybody. No, what I'm saying is you got to let new technology grow. You got to let it scale up. You got to let it innovate, because as base layer, NFTs technology, it can be used for real estate, can be used for the deed on your house, can be used for your license, or as an identifier for decentralized ID at some point. All those things are possible.
Your vaccination card.
Yeah, hey, you want NFT so bad? NFT.
You can have an avatar you coughing on your phone.
You with a mask on. Oh man, I got something. Man, you tell me I had something in my beard. I got me talking the whole time.
I wasn't even sure if it was a glisten at first, but I was like, let me type this to him.
I'm saying with cornflakes in my beard. Y'all didn't say nothing. But
you got that mane, you got that lion's mane now.
Yeah, I know. So it's too long. It's catching everything floating by. But these NFT This NFT market right now is very young. U.S. Treasury is trying to clamp down on it early because, again, they were late to Bitcoin, they were late to DeFi, and now they're trying to be a little bit ahead of the game. But it's still kind of a moot point because you can't stop it. I mean, you got 12-year-olds minting NFTs right now as we speak. The VB drop is about to come out in a second. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of stuff that happens where the Treasury can't stop it. The juice is loose. That's all I got to say. Good luck.
I'm definitely not trying to get after anybody. You all know that, but I got to point this out only because it just makes so this crypto, another crypto mom. Whenever I hear crypto mom, I don't believe it no more. I'm sorry. She left her decade-long job as a banker, pursued full-time crypto career. Initial investments early 2020.
Oh, that's the homie. That's the homie. Yeah, she.
I'm still about to flame her. So
yeah, no, I was saying I forgot that was her name, Crypto Mom. Go ahead.
Well, shout out to her for leaving her job and everything, 2020. But this is what I didn't like. You scroll a little bit further, and she's already hosting seminars to educate the general public. That's what I'm talking about. 1 to 2 years in, and you're educating everybody. Like, very sketch. That's all I'm gonna say. I would love to see a seminar on her DeFi. Like, I don't know. I would love to see one of her DeFi seminars to see like what is she teaching about? Because I don't know. That's kind of, you came in 2020, you're doing DeFi seminars. All right, that's what's up. So yeah, she getting this flame, like I said. I'm saying it is what it is. It is what it is. Like as BuzzFeed said, we're dealing with a multi-billion-dollar market now. If you're dealing with a multi-billion-dollar market and you're brand new to that market, you should probably wait to give that billion-dollar advice. That's my thoughts.
Gotta see it in a bear market.
Hey, all I'm saying is we took about 4 or 5 years before we made a master class. People come in here 6 weeks in, you know what? We'll go ahead and put this out right now. Like, all right, I feel you.
It took me 2 years. It took me 2 years to even tweet it. Like, I didn't even want to talk about it. Like, you know how much information is in this space? I am not a seminar teacher. As a former teacher, I know what it takes to be a teacher of something. You got to know more than everybody else, at least a level above, if not 2 or 3. So that takes some years.
Yeah. I would say after 2, I think 2 years is fair. Like, give it a quick couple years at the least, because Shannon Allen said, how veteran you need to be old school, how veteran before teach. I think in this space, 2 years fair, unless it's something like super specific. Like, I just created NFT, I made a couple $100,000, like nothing, you don't have to be a millionaire. Like, I made a couple $100,000, I made a couple people's salary, and this is how you do it. Like, that's one thing to me. But again, when you're talking about, like, literally you say you have DeFi on there, it's like, oh, so you know about DeFi, because I know how long it takes to learn some of these principles in there. Like, you know about roll-ups and ZK this and that, and like, you know about all this other stuff. Like, that's crazy. In 1 year, like, you must have really been reading. It's rare that it's like that, people. That's the bottom line. It's rare that it's like that. You're talking about people putting their portfolios in something. I'd rather have the person who really have experience in it versus the person who got the one, like Bitcoin, they said, you get the one win in a bull market. Of course, everybody's a genius. But yeah, what happens when the market's sideways for this long? Are you still getting wins, or has it slowed down? So I don't know.
Hey, somebody said Rug Pool Academy. That's what I'm talking about.
Hilarious.
Let me go buy that domain before somebody else.
Right. PFCLs said they talked about this yesterday on Crypto Blood channel off the chain. NFTs are blowing up when China started introducing new capital flight rules. Some rich folks was making moves early COVID. That is right. China did throw that on there as well. Reno Gabo, have we heard about the Julian Assange DAO or WikiLeaks DAO? I first heard about it because someone claimed WikiLeaks NFT was about art. I did hear about that DAO. I didn't get too in depth with it, only because for me, when it comes to Julian Assange and I forgot the other one name off the top of my head, the one who told us about the NSA and everything. But when it comes to some of these folks, Snowden and Julian Assange. Here's the thing, people. They both uncovered things as Americans we should be very upset and angry about and really be in the streets protesting about. We did not, which is why I go back to my statement earlier. As critical as I am, I got to mess with the government because they're the A side. At least they letting their nuts drop. Whereas literally 2 American citizens told other Americans the problem with government and what's happening, and we did nothing. So I say all that to say, when it comes to their funds and everything, or their DAOs, I'm not huge on it, only because we've already shown we won't really support them. So what's a DAO going to do, really? Like, give the government more money, make a honeypot for the government to come and take? That's what I think personally. Also, looking at C Capital said if someone's diagnosed, talking about Wendy Williams, with a mental illness, it's probably best they don't have full access to their funds. So this is my pushback against that. Who gets to decide the mental illness? Now I know, again, I know how you listen. Hold on, let me throw it on there, Zay. Hold on. I know how a lot of you Ned Flanders are.
I sure like cut of your gibberish. Cohen doodly diddly. Diddly doodly. Doodly oodly. Noodly doodly diddly doodly. Jucky diddly doodler.
I get it. I know how a lot of you are. All right. A lot of you are probably saying, what do you mean you can't tell who has a mental illness? The doctor said this, the doctor said that. I'll leave it here, Zay. As I always tell people, I'm in Los Angeles. A lot of things that used to be mental illnesses are not mental illnesses anymore. They're being celebrated. So with that being said, I don't have a dog in the fight. I can care less either way. But I am saying that humans at one point said these things are mental illnesses. And at another point, a lot of humans said these things are not mental illnesses. Some people still on the same side or different sides of the fence when it comes to a lot of these topics. So for us to say, well, if a person has a mental illness, they shouldn't be allowed access to their funds. If I was someone powerful and you are a competitor and all I have to do is show that you're a little cray-cray to cut off one of your most valuable resources, capital, like what? Come on, like you people aren't mean enough. I'm sorry, you're good people. You're Ned Flanders. You're good people and I love it. But I'm telling you now, I've been around savages. They don't care. They will come after you.
Hey man, like I said, the only reason the Nazis won is because of regular people. They didn't have any numbers. It was a bunch of regular people who just went on about that. I'm just gonna do what I'm told. I'm just gonna stay in line, and then Geneva Convention, and now y'all.
Yeah. So I'm not with that. To be honest, I get it, but it's so again, especially if you're talking about multimillionaires and billionaires, where one thing I learned, they said, you know, one of the biggest things that what happens once you make money is that people, governments, individuals will try to separate you from that money by either taking it from you or having you do something foolish enough to give it away. So for me, Wendy Williams, let's be real, she's worth a lot of money. There are people out there and groups out there that will do a bank. What? If I can make sure you don't pull millions out the bank, oh yeah, something wrong with you. You got a mental illness. We're gonna go ahead and push that line early, all right? Let's see, what else do we have going on? Venezuela is going crazy. Venezuelans reportedly hit by new Bitcoin tax of up to 20%. That's right, it's not sweet. Bitcoin adoption has been on the rise in Venezuela in recent years amid hyperinflation and the national currency crisis. This, of course, is a story now we've literally been following since 2017. When the president first did the petrol, he tried to do a petrol, crypto, whatever. And then eventually they went over to Bitcoin. They got a lot of stuff going on in Venezuela, but essentially they had wheelbarrows to move their money around because it was worthless, which is why they started swapping to the crypto standard. I would say crypto because it wasn't a Bitcoin standard. As I said, they had their own project, but the Venezuelan government has approved a new tax bill aiming to collect up to 20% in taxes from cryptocurrency transactions, according to local reports. That's again, this is obsessive. Like, so 1 in every 5, we want 1 out of every 5. Like, that's a lot. Venezuela's National Assembly held a second discussion session on Thursday for a new draft bill targeting taxes on large financial transactions and cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. They reportedly approved the draft bill last Thursday, requiring local firms and individuals to pay up to 20% for operations carried out in cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currencies such as the US dollar. Again, my question to Venezuela, which I already know the answer to, messing with their president, was it Maduro? Is it Mad Dog Maduro out there?
Mad Dog Maduro.
Mad Dog Maduro. Let's say we pay you this 20% tax on all crypto transactions. What do we get back? Like, that is our only question for every politician or regulator who's trying to go crazy and do a backflip. Oh, you got to tax it. You got to tax it. They're going crazy. It's like, you're going to tax it and do what with the money? You're not doing anything for the community. Like, it doesn't get any more gangster than this. We are literally going to take your money without having a roadmap ahead of what we're going to do with it, or even a real reason of why we're taking it, other than the fact that fuck it, because we can. Yeah. I mean, just straight up because we can. It was filed on January 20th. The draft law aims to collect 2 to 20% from transactions in any currencies other than those issued by the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela or the Venezuela Bolivar, and the country's oil-backed cryptocurrency, the Petro, El Petro. I'm very interested to know what's going on in Venezuela, because at this point, I'm just assuming he got the police and military kidnapping people in back alleys and beating their ass, because how could this even pass, especially after the mishandling of the El Petro crypto. Like, you already try to have your cryptocurrency oil-backed El Petro. Shout out to Venezuela. You were one of the first to do it. So of course it comes with a lot of technical and different types of issues of figuring this thing out logistically. But you blew it. I mean, it says the initiative aims to incentivize the use of the national currency, which reportedly lost 70% in value last year alone and shed nearly all its value in the past decade. Like, again, we're not seeing this in the first world country, but this is happening in other countries, folks. 70% of value loss, and then they're trying to tax 20% on the new currencies that you're actually going to be using. This is insane. What are your thoughts?
It looks like y'all need to get the likes up. That's what it is.
I got you. Hold on. I got something for you, Zay. Hold on. Wait. They don't get the likes up?
Just keep playing that until you get the likes up.
I got one for you. Here you go. Oh, man, it's terrible. Hey, shout out Captain Samuel. This is a genius idea for YouTube. Hey, get them likes up. Stop lurking.
Get the likes up. Get them up before we have to do a whole concert of this bitch. Oh man, but shit, we can't again. But it's all good. Either way, like I said before, with Venezuela, they actually banned Bitcoin. They banned cryptocurrency. And now they're coming back and saying they want a 20% tax on it. Look, people, we won. I don't know how many times we got to say it. We say it all the time. We won. This, when you look at it glass half full, whenever you say as a nation state, we can't control it, so we'll just tax it. India did it last week. That's 30%. Venezuela did it this week, 20%. China's discussing it. Russia's discussing it. Every single country has figured out we can't stop this. All we can do is try to get our cut. So we should all be rejoicing right now because essentially we won. There's nothing they can do to stop it. They've openly admitted that. They've tried everything they could. The best they can do is tax it, or they can try and guard on-ramps so that people have to KYC themselves and they can identify who has it. That's the best they can do, but you can't stop Bitcoin. Now, other coins, they have their own problem, but in Venezuela, I see it as glass half full because when people talk about, again, we had this discussion Friday, political movements, it was illegal 5 years ago. And then there were people in Venezuela risking their life to mine Bitcoin. They got too much money. It became too popular. And the government realized they can't do anything about it. So then they conceded. And they said, well, we'll just tax it 20%. That's how you actually push up against the government. Because Maduro can go around knocking heads, shooting people all he wants, but he can't get everybody. And I think they realized that. And they conceded. So again, it's money. The fact that they're able to have their own money and they're not using the government-issued petrodollar, that means Bitcoin won. And in my opinion, you're going to see more countries that start to do this. I believe this is just the beginning. Again, this is sort of like when we started seeing CBDCs in 2018. We just start seeing it every day. We saw India last week. We saw Venezuela. What's going to be the next country that does it? So in my opinion, it means we just won. We're just finishing off small little battles here and there, traversing the land, making sure everybody's dead, trying to make sure that they don't have any way back.
We putting the what was it? I should know. I can't even think of it. The knife at the end of the rifles back in the day.
Knife at the end of the rifle, just walking around.
Yeah, I know what you.
Yeah, that's all we doing right now. We just trying to make sure they all the way dead because we don't want anybody to come back from the dead and come back with some new shit. So.
Wait, I have $1, kind sir.
Yeah, get out of here.
Bro, you a fool.
We stacking walls like in 300.
Seba, Reno, shout out to Reno, said it's time for the percolate. We need to get that on there. Seba Brown said y'all should do a weekly segment on people, companies, or countries. Do a bayonet. Thank you, Alapio. Doing a 180 on Bitcoin. Let's see. Mr. G Recycling guy said, no, it's a store of value. No, it's a currency. No, it's gold. I know, right? Satoshi Slim says, so it is a currency. Hey, if it's being taxed now in 2 countries, it sounds like a currency to me. Hey, make up your mind out here in these streets. Billy Crush, what's going on, Billy? Venezuela still got big bags of oil. They're stacking Bitcoin on the low. I agree with that, actually. I actually do agree with that. Yeah. Let's see. Don B said, in 10 years, you're just a music station. Hilarious. KB, Said, do we need to have a light tax segment every day? Hey, we don't start getting them likes about Mac, we will. I will say shout out to our warriors though, because usually people will say that they get so in tune, they watch as they forget to actually click it. So I'm not mad at that. I know some of you guys are at work, some of you all are driving. Who cares? Get in an accident and get fired for that thumbs up. No, all jokes. Let's see. Arm Jr. said, in our opinion, is it true? Most people should be focused on growing their Bitcoin and Ethereum bags. Everything else is speculative and has rug pull danger. Yes, and even Ethereum is definitely speculative, but they just have more people on the team that definitely don't want to see it fail. But yeah, for sure, I would say Bitcoin and Ethereum first more than anything. Everything else is just super speculative. I think it should just really be used to get more USD and fiat back to buy more Bitcoin. So essentially, you want to try to make your gains in Bitcoin if possible. That's my thoughts.
Hey, I saw this comment here. It says, did you see that the Twitter post about BAYC having neo-Nazi and racist references? Look, people, Bored Ape Yachts, and we discussed the one earlier. What was that? ENS. Hey, niggas are racist, bro. Get over it, dog. I mean, what the fuck? Y'all are adults still talking about, did you see the racist? Niggas are racist. Who cares? It's technology that anybody can use. We don't care. I don't care what individuals say, because me and King show up at conferences all the time. I show up at conferences year round. Nobody's ever came right here and said that shit, and they never will. That's the point. So who cares, people? When you focus on that too much, you miss the point of the project. And if you don't like it because of that, that's fine. But if that's the trump card for everything, you're gonna miss a lot of opportunities, because they're basically trying to get Rogan out of here with the same thing. Well, he said, and I'm like, okay, well, don't watch. You're an adult. Like, I don't know what to tell people when they say that. I'm like, all right, it happens. Then avoid them. There's millions of other things you could do in this world. Like, who cares?
And the good part about this too, again, which is why I'm pushing back on people with this whole barriers to entry. Like, there's still low barriers. I won't say no anymore. There's barriers because of the government and regulators, essentially. From a technological standpoint, there's a learning curve, but there still aren't that many barriers. So in this space, whether it's ENS or is this person saying this, if it's someone you don't like or someone you don't agree with, like, literally, like, people, here's the beauty. There's so much open source code now, you can literally copy their project and just get a new community. Don't believe me, Dogecoin, Shiba, or
Pancake Swap,
Floki, like, you can literally copy their technology and just start your own community. You don't believe me? Ask every other coin outside of Bitcoin, literally. So
every single one has been copied.
Every single coin outside of Bitcoin, you can literally copy. So if you see something in this space that you really don't like, or if it's just, hey, they don't like women, they don't like minorities, they don't like hetero white man, whatever it is you don't like, literally just steal their fucking project and recreate it at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And then on top of that, half of y'all work for corporations where the CEO and CTO do the same thing. They just do it in private. So whatever, man. You just deal with it. At this point, I'm like, come on, man. You gotta get over it.
You get powerful enough, it won't matter for the most part.
It won't matter, bro. You can live.
And I mean, hey, speaking of powerful and getting to a certain point where it won't matter, let's talk about Bitcoin becoming a lifeline for sex workers, like this former nurse who made $1.3 million last year. This is crazy. What's going on in this story? How is Bitcoin a lifeline?
Oh yeah, so Bitcoin.
I didn't know you could bang out a Bitcoin. I had to go there.
Hey, sex for stats, baby. Giving that fellatio for the ratio. Bitcoin has become a lifeline for sex workers, like this former nurse who made 1.3 million last year. And I was introduced to a friend who she actually had.
Oh, hold on, my fault to cut you off. We're not even playing this game. You talking about this hoe right here, this prostitute? Hey, no, I know what they're trying to do, because you got to listen.
I see what they're trying to get us all to spend our Bitcoin on prostitutes.
Hey, I see the look. She's a sex worker. No, I know what this hoe is, man. I see what. Go ahead.
She on OnlyFans showing feet.
You know what I'm saying? I see what they're trying to do. She's a sex worker, right?
Oh yeah.
What's old girl on La Brea and what's called though? What does she consider?
Yeah, what she consider? Yeah, exactly. Sex worker. Okay, all right. But apparently, if she had a camera in front of her while she was doing it, then she would be a sex worker. You put the camera away, prostitute. That's
okay,
different.
My fault. Well, I apologize.
But again, shout out to her, Allie Eve Knox. Get it how you live, homegirl. She makes sexually provocative videos, sells subscription services on OnlyFans, performs live via webcam, and works as a FinDome, short for financial dominatrix, a fetish involved dominant, submission, dynamics, and cash.
I met somebody out here who do that for real. This girl.
Bro, I know there are
simps who are paying. Bro, it's real.
Hey, talk dirty to me and I'll give you $5,000. Shut up, you little short. piece of shit. Like it's
you'll never be president of the company.
You'll never be president of the company. Even your wife and kids hate you. Like dudes like that. I don't know. People have their own kinks, whatever. I always say take advantage of the simps because they deserve to get their money taken. If they can afford it, whatever, take it from them. Their job is to not give it to you. But one of the most outspoken sex workers for crypto, her interest kicked off in 2014 because accounts being shut down. How many times do we have to say it? How many use cases do we have to say? Anytime you do anything that is nefarious or people don't like or sort of fringe, they always shut down the money. That's because it's the most important part. You got to cut off the faucet before you can try and stop them. So she started off with a Skype call. She had a Coinbase account and then hold the QR code right to the camera. Boom. And that was it. Took 15 minutes, no chargebacks, no website commission fees, no bank intermediaries, and all major pluses in her industry. So again, the reason why I had a book tour event at a strip club and having another one again is because people don't understand that when you're in that industry where you get a lot of cash or you get a lot of attention in a field that may be seen as, you know, something that can be shut down, you got to have a way to get paid. And Bitcoin is the easiest way. Nobody can stop it. It's literally pull up your phone, show the QR code, let's get it. So shout out to her. She made 1.3 million stealing from all these ugly, fat, rich dudes out in LA probably.
Hey, and shout out to her for real because she's still, I'm gonna respect her as a Bitcoin OG. She said 2014. I changed my tune. My fault. Hey, do what you want, be who you are. 2014 OG in the house. I got to give her that respect because again, even as a sex worker, whatever you want to call them, she's just trying to, you know, receive her value back and be able to keep it. She had issues doing it, and she found out that Bitcoin allows her to do it. So shout out to her because I'm sure she told others. I mean, the one thing about sex workers, prostitutes, strippers, like everybody in that scene, like, oh, go to a stripper forum if you haven't. Like, literally go to Google and type in stripper forum. If you're bored at work for the next 3 to 6 to 12 hours to 3 weeks to 6 months, you're welcome. You're about to find out all game because they literally share a game with each other about how to extract the most value out of different types of humans. So I'm sure as one of those, you know, little, I guess, tips, they probably put in ways to keep that value as well, which is in Bitcoin, not going through PayPal, whatever. I mean, really for sex work, PayPal and Venmo is really off the board. $600 transaction, that's off the board. You can, I mean, the menu, either that or the menu to get real light.
I would say how much pussy costs today?
Okay, he went there. All right, we're about to get demonetized. Really quick last comments. Jake Fever, shout out to Jake Fever. Hey, I actually had to say this to a family member essentially. Jake said the CEO called them the N-word in their face. They still work there if they wasn't allowed to sue. People, I had to tell somebody before. I was like, listen, don't you get no attitude with me. Hey, with Charleston White, I'm a free man.
I'm a free man.
Attitude with me. I ain't work for nobody.
That's what I said. I quit every job.
Yeah. You need to go to work. You need to go to work with that anger and go talk to your boss. Because I don't tell you what to do 8 to 12 hours a day. They do. You don't like them. You ain't got nothing to do with me.
Exactly. Yeah, I done quit every job I didn't like because I'm a free man. You are not about to hold me. I'll go homeless before I let somebody talk to me crazy or treat me.
Hey, and that's the problem with us millennials. We out here.
Exactly. We out here, baby.
Hey,
I just slept in my car for a month. Like, I don't care. Like, people don't understand. You have to have a level of I don't care that's higher than your CEOs. It's tough. But if you have a level higher, you get way more respect. Like, I promise you, most people, they try and get mad, but then the CEO's like, all right, then leave. And they're like, well, I got to pay bills. Well, then shut the fuck up. That's what
listen, one way to do it, folks, you got to stay child free for as long as possible. I know it's tough to do when you got kids. Then you got to, I'm going to let that go. But when you walk away, I'm going to tell you later.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Other than that, it is the show for today. You got anything, Bitcoin Zay?
Nothing for me today. Happy Monday to everybody. And definitely think for yourself out here, people, because there's a lot of pushback against people that start to use Bitcoin and crypto. They're trying to convince you not to. Make sure you think for yourself. And yeah, have a good Monday, people.
Other than that, we just want you all to remember. Oh, I did it wrong. Hold on. Let me try it again.
We're not gonna take it.
One more time.
We're not gonna take it.
We're not going to take it, folks. All right. No 20%, 30%, 40% tax on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.